guys to everyone. It's Ada from Poison Rock, and today I have the honor to have a welcome back again. ILUKA. I can say, I can say my favorite singer, my inspiration. How are you? First of all,
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a really exciting time having released the album, and it's
yeah.
it's interesting, just like it's kind of the closing of a chapter because that this record has literally consumed me for the last 3 years. But then it's also like opening this new chapter
Yeah.
of, and now everyone has it, and I'm gonna take the record on the road, and it's
Wow.
kind of
Yeah.
this closing of some, and finally letting these songs go, which has been actually quite a relief. But then the start of something new. So it's been,
Yeah.
yeah, really cool, really beautiful.
You go through a lot of changes fastly from Australia to LA, just starting your life, creating all a new chapter now, and another chapter. I mean,
Hmm.
you're gonna release an album from every chapter of your life going on.
Yeah.
But of course, we can finally say it after doing interviews for each single. Finally, we can do an interview for The Wild, The Innocent, and The Raging. The album is out.
The
People
album's
fucking
out.
buy it, listen it, consume it because I put it every day, and I have the proof. I have the proof. I look at most listened musician of 2025. So I everyone is going. I saw also your streaming numbers are amazing, are increasing a lot. So
Mm,
congratulations for that and congratulations for the album. I know it was a big work for you. Since
mhm.
Wings, Women Gun Man, you did a lot of road. Haunted One. You did such an amazing journey. But basically, you let us, the fan, see your journey, and now there
Mhm.
is your baby out. Your album.
Mhm.
So of course, I want to ask you about the title, which is beautiful, by the way. I don't have to say nothing more. So, what it means for you, the wild, the innocent, and the raging?
Yeah, I wanted a title that, I think on this record there is a lot of the feminine rage, and that's probably how a lot of my fans found me. But I didn't want the record to be solely about that because it is
Yeah,
so much more. It's this whole transition for me. It's this like
yeah,
almost this loss of my old life, and having to rebuild and start from scratch all over again. And with that came this like, it was terrifying, and but it was also very freeing and beautiful. So the wild and the innocent part
yeah.
kind of just came from that feeling of
Free.
freedom. Yeah, finally having this moment where there was, I kind of really did start from scratch, and I didn't really have, I'd left my team. I'd gone through a big breakup. I was in a new country. Everything was so new. And yeah, the wildness kind of came out of that feeling of freedom. The innocence, that word in particular, there were a couple of songs that I think the album taps into this kind of Americana idealism
Yeah,
of America. I'm not from America, so but I grew up with a lot of like culturally, you know, the music that I listen to, a
yeah,
lot of music, folk music, particularly from the 60s, and you've got your, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, and there was this idealism of America,
yeah,
and I think this Americana, rose tinted glasses, and songs like this kind of nostalgia in songs
yeah,
like
exactly.
American Beauty and
Yeah,
Wild West, and there's an innocence about those songs. And
are
Wild
beautiful.
West particularly, it's this like this idealism that's met with this reality, because I actually
Yeah.
wrote that song when my house nearly burnt down in the LA fires, and it was this like
That
this
was,
juxtaposition of this really
yeah,
idyllic vision of America, and then this kind of pretty nightmarish reality that I was
absolutely.
living through at that moment. So that's where the innocence came from. So yeah, I kind of feel like
Okay.
the record, and then the raging is obviously a lot of the femme rage songs in there, and what I was going through personally, and then what was going on politically in the world, and kind of, feeling very angsty and angry about that. So that was how I kind of arrived at
Yeah, because
the kind of three parts of the
yeah,
record.
it's like giving it's not even a journey itself, because someone can start from the innocent part to the raging one. It's depending how you feel, because I've been listening, like, I think I'm speaking for myself, but I think a lot of fans can speak also for themselves. Anyone that listen your music, there's, of course, there is a dreaming about those songs. For example, California Boys, you listen and you dream about that type of situation, that you are in that situation. But of course, it can be Sicilian Boys, for example, but you
Mm-hmm.
feel yourself in that. But then you got that female power back when you step into Women Got Mad, and you
Mm,
feel that. And so doesn't matter if you go through the most vulnerable song to the most toughest song, anyone can feel it in any moment of the day. And one beautiful thing about your music is that always give back a positivity. And I have to say it,
mm,
despite everything, if there is a moment of the day that I doubt about myself, about my my self-esteem, my who I am, just put that album there, and I said, listening to this song, the album, your music put me back on track, and said, okay, this is me,
mm.
and I start to dance around the house. That's
Oh,
so that you create a tool for women, men, for anyone that has a vulnerable side, just to be out
mm,
and just speak our own word, our own truth, and mainly not being afraid of changes. That's that
mm.
I felt through your album. And
That's so beautiful.
of course, we in the previous interview we talked about all the songs that were released prior to Manic Pixie Girl. So
Mhm.
of course, I want to ask you just really quickly about because I would prefer to focus more about the songs that are not released. So
Mhm.
about Many Pixie Dream Girl and Witch Girls, which kind of maybe is a little bit similar the meaning, but for you, what does it represent, these songs? Because it's kind of an anthem
Mm.
songs for me.
So Manic Pixie Dream Girl was definitely comes from the Manic Pixie Dream
Mhm.
Girl trope, which was particularly, around in the 2000s, and
Yeah,
it's still definitely around, but this whole idea of the female character in film just being there as kind of a plot device for the
yeah,
for the lead character, who was the
yeah,
the man, and she would come in and as this kind of the quirky, lovable, kind of two-dimensional
yeah,
character who would serve the lead character, and then she would die off, or he would kind of leave and be like, "Cool, I'm good now. Like, thanks."
yeah,
And it was
sure,
just this idea of, yeah, the
yeah,
woman always being the plot device and being there to um serve his path, and it was all
yeah,
about, he was the kind of central character,
no,
and she always, and I think every person who identifies as female has felt, even in any kind of public situation, that you're on the outer, on the
yeah,
outer side, and particularly in the music industry, I've very much felt that it can be quite a boys club,
I
and you often feel like a bit of a plot device, or this you can be put on a pedestal as the
exactly.
quirky girl, and so that song was just really diving into that,
And of course,
that whole idea. And the sonic world was very much, I was listening to a lot of like more 90s grunge,
yeah.
Jagged Little Pills on repeat, so I think it does have that. There's a bit of a kind of 90s grunge angst in that song, which I
Yeah,
really love.
yeah. And of course, that is then Witch Girls. That it's also the first song
Which
of
girls?
the
Yes.
opening. Is like it's a catchy song. It's anthem for a lot of girls. I think nowadays, growing up, I mean, it's a song for the new generation of girls for identify themselves.
Mm.
Because sometimes we are the outsiders, so we ended up to be the witch girls, which is not like just to be someone interested in the I don't know the let's say the magic or something. It's just the magic of life.
Yeah, and for that song, I really wanted, I think I dived into so much, like a darker sonic world, and I had explored a lot of the rage and the darker aspects of feeling
Yeah,
maybe like a bit of an outsider. And I wanted a song on the record that just felt like a full-blown celebration of it. So I didn't want it to feel heavy and dark because there is already so much of that in
Yeah,
the album. I just wanted it to be this full-blown, yeah, like dancing around your room,
yeah, exactly.
celebrating being the widow and
And
the outsider, and for
and
it to
that's
feel
and the
like
beautiful
that.
thing is that it's the music video. It's beautiful. It's well
Mm.
studied in details. I mean, you always have this amazing crew and friend that help you for the just work with you for the music video because every music video is like a story itself. It's so
Mm.
cinematic and so beautiful to watch. So I mean, how do I mean, you have like a kind of a crew like the best ones. Send me some of your photographs. They're amazing.
Yeah, I do have a pretty solid team that I work with now, which is really fun because they now know what I love and I know
Yeah,
how they work. So it just becomes this really
yeah, of course.
kind of collaborative, yeah, beautiful process.
Yeah, and of course, this song is like the opening, but then there was some song that I
Mhm.
follow, literally fall in love yesterday. I already listened, but I was looking for a song for putting a photo, and then I read, I'm the type to give no warning, mouth of gasoline, I'm out there pouring, never looking back, keep on walking. And it started then come,
Mm.
that's perfect song for me, solo. So where that it comes from, because that's a fucking powerful song for especially someone that is going through, a breakup. It's a good song.
Mhm. Totally. And that, the whole idea of the solo and then being so low, it came out of just a time where I was, yeah, a very low time.
Yeah,
And that kind of feeling, it's like it is a little cheeky, kind of
yeah,
talking about an ex who's still living with their parents and or who
yeah,
moved back in with their parents, and it's kind of being a bit playful, but ultimately, yeah, it's kind of coming out of a rock bottom and being like, well, fuck, I made it through, and I'm good. Like this
yeah,
kind of moment of being like, oh, I'm actually good. And you come out of, whether it's a breakup or whatever kind of rock bottom we're talking,
yeah,
it's like you can come out of it. And it feels so hard and shaky for a long time. And then one day you kind of wake up and you're like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. And
exactly.
it's that moment that song was kind of referencing.
Yeah, which is also solo is the perfect Italian translation for alone. Uh,
Beautiful. Yeah.
It's kind of let's say a male version because we have female and male, but in Italian, saying alone could be also translated as solo or sola. It's a woman.
Oh wow, I love
So
that.
yeah, I kind of fit perfectly. Sometimes loneliness is
Beautiful.
not a problem, and of course, going really like because there are also some news that we would like to give to the fans. Going through a really not quickly, but just that there it comes thoughts and prayers, which is, I mean, I could.
Mm.
That's I think it can follow also solo as a meaning.
Well, this song particularly was when I mean it's such a specific moment of finding out that someone has been unfaithful, and it's a murder ballad, and I remember texting my producer that I wrote this with, and we'd written a few songs together, and I'd found out about the situation that I was in and that someone had been unfaithful, which is, if anyone has felt that, is an awful,
Yeah,
awful, awful feeling. And I texted this my friend, and I was like, we need to get in the studio. Like, what are you doing tomorrow? Like, I need to.
you
And,
had
and
to
he
put
texted back.
the
He was like, what's happened? And yeah, literally the next day or the day after, we went in and we just wrote this. I was like, I want to write a murder ballad. It was very like
yeah
this kind of icky, that I was like, I just need to
to
get it out
to
of
get
me.
the
and
shit
and
out.
yes, and that chorus came pretty quickly, that you better run for your
Uh-huh.
life, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now I love singing that live because it's not so raw and icky now, and it's just like this fun,
Yeah,
revengeful, like
exactly. Yeah, of course, because
murder
that's what they
ballad.
got. That's what they got. They love to do that to the betrayal part, but then when they're gonna see what they lost, what they've lost. That's only been
Totally.
regrets and no second chances. I don't want to make any gesture, but not second gesture. Just
No
no
second
second.
gestures.
No. And of course, I mean, this is and also I think this Thought and Prayers is a beautiful song to listen live, and we will go through it slowly about shortly about the live, because of course then there is Girl on the Run that if people wants to know, we already talk about it. One of my favorite songs. There's American Beauty, which you already mentioned something about that. I'm just saying like the Cry Evil, one of your biggest anthem as well.
Mm.
And Wild West, you could talk also about that. So straightforward, the song that we never talked yet is was Crucify Me, because we did a last
Mm.
interview before Crucify Me and where the tattoo came from also. So that's I'm to, ought to die. It's gonna die with me in my skin. So
That's so special. Yeah, this
yeah.
song, it was so funny. I was talking about this with the producer and writer that I worked on this with. And I looked back recently, and the Word document that we were kind of writing everything down was 21 pages of
Okay.
like typed stuff for Crucify Me. And this song, I just had so much to say. I wanted to reference mythology, I wanted to reference history, and I can be a little bit of a perfectionist sometimes when I'm trying to tell a story. I wanted this one specifically to reference this kind of specifically girlhood. So, you know, growing up as a girl, um, and the kind of brutality of that. And I was watching, you know, I was deep in like Sofia Coppola,
Okay.
Hayes, you know, I'd watched
And
rewatched Virgin Suicides
I
and Marie
do, yeah,
Antoinette,
Marie
and
Antoinette, exactly.
yeah, and specifically Virgin Suicides. I don't know, there's this kind of tragic
Yeah,
feminine energy about it, and that was what I was feeling with Crucify Me. I wanted it to feel
it's kind of poetry.
haunting and tragic,
Yeah,
um but then have this
beauty.
defiance about it too. So that was the world I was kind of in when I was putting all those lyrics together. But yeah, I had actually delivered the album before writing that, and I literally wrote a kind of first
Yeah.
version of this song, and I called up my team and I was like, we have to put this on the record. And thank God, you know, they're amazing. I really threw them for a
Um,
curveball, because when you've delivered an album, it's really hard to kind of pull it
no, of course.
out again and then re-deliver it. So, but I don't know. I was just like, this just has to be on the record. There was so much rewriting. I was texting my producer every day with like a new idea for a verse. It was like everyone was sick of me by the end of that
Yeah, but
song.
I
Um,
think
but
I
I'm
think you
so
did a
proud of it.
beautiful job because, like you mentioned, like the Sofia Coppola experience is kind of a, let's say, a modern female Shakespearean version of some tragedy. You know, those
Yes.
beautiful
Yeah.
tragedy of Shakespeare, but from a female aesthetic, magical point of view. Let's say more strong,
Totally.
positive point of view, not that kind of tragedies that big. But of course, I mean, then I will go back to the Haunted one in 1 second. But the last song is Art to Love Me.
Mm.
Of course, it's the last song in the album. I mean, there is a reason why it's the last song of the album, and also Art to Love Me. It's a tough, title, and I think
Mhm.
many of us can reflect and see themselves in these songs for different reasons. Maybe because we don't feel that much, or because maybe we are too picky, or because we know our standard now. So
Mm.
how can this I mean how can the inspiration can be easy to understand, but what do you want to which message do you want to send with the song?
Mm. I wanted to finish with a song that was like painfully personal, because I think so much of the album is um it's very theatrical and it's very defiant, and there's a lot of energy, and there's cinematic. It's just big, and I wanted the scope for this album to be big, vast. I want it to be vast. That's why the album cover is what it is. It's I
Yeah,
just everything about this album, I wanted it to be vast. And I knew that the last song had to be something that was a lot, that was like raw and very, very personal. I wanted to
yeah,
finish the album on something a lot more personal. Um so that song was just the obvious choice there. And yeah, I mean,
It's
um
cute.
I also wanted to, you know, so much of, I think, where my defiance comes
Yeah,
from is from a place of always being kind of told I was too much, that this kind of too muchness. And
yeah,
I really, my whole life is like, have kind of fought against that, in every way. And that's where a lot of my defiance comes from. A lot of the songs on the record come from. So this song was, yeah, just that,
yeah,
a
perfect.
really scary thing to say out loud. But I was like, I know that if I write something that really scares me, I want people to take the defiance from it, but I wanted people to take a real honesty from the record
Yeah,
too, and see themselves
exactly.
in it too, and realize the messiness. Because, you know, in Wings, I'll be like, you know, my wings have grown back and it's so kind of
Yeah,
defiant, and I have arrived. And then, you know, Hard
exactly.
to Love Me is like, I'm hard to love me, thank you for trying. So I wanted there to be this messiness, because I don't have it figured out. You know, I, yeah, I don't have it figured out. And I just wanted people to take that from the record, and just this kind of realness and rawness and authenticity there. So yeah.
Yeah, because you show all yourself in this record, and of course, like when I mentioned before, Haunted One, like how does it feel? Because like when we start the first to meet, to get to know each was throughout. Of course, you have a whole discography album release behind you, but we
Mm.
you got to know a lot in the web and in the music
Hmm.
scene with the Haunted One. You know, everyone on TikTok wanted to do like the famous walk and that.
Mm.
So how does it feel from being that girl to be now a woman being, I mean, you always been a woman, but being this woman owning your own, having your power back, having your own album and be ready to conquer the stages. How does it feel? Because we can say it, you're gonna be on tour.
I'm going to
How does
yeah.
it feel to from Haunted One to now? How would you like to say to that girl from the Haunted One?
I would say I'm, well, firstly, very proud of her, because I feel like there was just a fearlessness in terms of, because at that point when I was putting out that song, I really had nothing going. There was no one around me, you know, no team, no nothing. And I kind of just, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was like, well, I guess I'll just kind of keep putting out songs. And it's just been such a huge part of this has been the community, and like
Yeah,
being in community with my fans. And
yeah,
um that's been such a huge part of this project, and how it's
exactly.
developed. And
Yeah,
so that's been really beautiful. And I think now being
yeah,
able to meet some of these
yeah,
fans when I go on tour, I think I've really been craving that. Because, you know,
exactly,
online people can be commenting and people message me, and but until you're having these experiences with like
exactly.
real people in a room, I think that's going to be a
Very good man.
huge
Yeah.
part of this whole process,
And
and
what, of
really
course, yeah.
connecting with people.
And what can you say about all, of course, that the tour that is start? Because of course, I understand that it's gonna be not exactly that date yet, but for what can you say? What we can expect from the tour? When, where we could see you around?
Yeah, so I can't say too much yet, but
Of
it will
course,
be out America, but also outside of America,
that's good
for the
for
first
us.
time. Yes, which is so exciting. And yeah, it's just gonna be intimate. I just really want to meet everyone, but obviously I'm gonna give it my all. So it's gonna be a beautiful moment of just kind of finally connecting with all of these people that
Yeah.
have listened to the music. And I just, yeah, can't wait.
We're gonna see you in a more intimate settings, and
Yes.
but it's gonna be you and like kind of a the lining tour is gonna be this.
Yes, totally.
I look around the globe. So I mean, it's of course it's obvious that I can say. So, where is the next single now? Now it's just touring time. Let's go
Now it's just
live.
touring time.
Rock and
Yes.
roll. It's literally rock and roll. There's
Yeah, honestly.
And of course, if some, I mean, I could say, because of course, if someone doesn't know you and it's the first time seeing you, would say, oh, which song we would advise? I would say, listen, all the album, because all songs are different,
Mhm.
as we spoke. But if really someone is new to your music and is approaching now, which
Mhm.
song you would suggest to advise to start from The Innocent, the Wild, and the Rare?
Oh, that's so tough. I would just say listen to the album top
Of
to
course.
top to bottom. I would just
I
say
agree.
yeah, listen to the album because there is so much,
Of course.
yeah, there's so much different
And
stuff on there. So
yeah.
I would, yeah, listen to the album.
And the album is available at the moment only digitally, only on streaming.
Yes, but there is vinyl coming.
Okay,
So
that's so,
there's
and I think
vinyl coming. There's just been a bit of a delay, but
it's okay,
vinyl
but I
is
think it's
coming.
gonna be also available in the live show that you will go around.
Yes.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
People also have to sign it, like if they want.
Yes.
That's
Oh
beautiful.
my
Like
God, of
literally,
course.
you created something that I called not only your own musical genre, because we can say it, and I interviewed a lot of musicians, and I can say it. You got your own musical genre. It's
Mm.
not. It's folkish. It's dreamy. It's rock, but it's. I look at there's other musician amazing like you, like Kiki Rockwell, Florence and the Machine, Paris Paloma, but you have your own genre. It's one ILUKA, like and you also created your own style that I said all the time, and that's because if someone wants to define your music, your style, I mean, go listen. I think they can watch the music video, they can watch
Mhm.
the album, they can listen to the album. That's you. And
Mhm.
thank you for showing up in your integrity and never even hide your own insecurity and being vulnerable, because you allow us to really being ourselves, even in the darkest moment, and also at the end of releasing the album.
Mm.
Now we can say in which let's say adjective you would describe your own music. So your style, your appearance, your sound, your lyrics.
Oh, that's so tough. One word? One word?
If you want, if you feel inspired, even in one sentence.
Okay, this album particularly, and this was
Mhm.
one of the words that kind of came to me very early on that I even though there's different sonic worlds within the album, I
Yeah,
wanted it all to feel very cinematic. So I think, and I'm so drawn to, I'm a huge film, I love film, and a lot of different directors. So my music very much is the visual side of it is just as important. And so the sonic, it's, yeah, cinematic is the
yeah,
word I would say. Yeah.
yeah. So you gave a new meaning for in a lot of thing. What is a cowgirl? The cowgirl can be a witch girl. The witch girl can be a cowgirl. Pop girl can be anything. You sure that a woman can be whatever she wants, and anyway,
Mm,
also a man can be whatever he wants.
totally. Yeah.
Anyone can be whatever they want. So thank you for your messages and music, and of course, thank you for your
Mm.
French. May see you soon. See you literally soon. That's all we can say.
Soon.
So
Yeah.
I wish you all the best and see congratulations for realizing you're one of your dream and also one of us, because
Mm,
more tattoos will come. I promise.
mm, Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you.
your constant support, and
It's
it's always a
always
pleasure to chat with you.
for me too. And like I said, you are literally my daily music soundtrack. Your music is always in my head, and I think for all a lot of girls goes like that way. And I hope one day to see you touring with Kiki Rockwell. I have to organize myself a tour with
Oh
her.
my God, that would be amazing.
You are the best musician and singer in the world, and that's another girl in UK. She's called Sofia Gobbi that I said perfectly with you, and I'm picturing Sofia Gobbi, you,
Oh,
and Kiki Rockwell going through rock, soft.
dream tour.
Yeah, it's perfect. We will see when we will meet. We will chat better about this thing.
Yeah,
We have a lot
totally.
of things to chat about it.
Oh
So
my God, we do.
thank you so much, Luca, for the time, and see you soon. And enjoy your success and whatever came from your beautiful path. I wish you really to go
Mm,
further and became even bigger than any other music of the musician out there. You deserve it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Always.
Bye.
Bye bye.